last chance qualifier if they have any hope at all of making that final field of 20. Semi-final number 2 turned out to be a race between, at best, I guess we could call them a pair of crashers, both of them going down a little bit earlier in the same heat race. There's Ron Tishner, and look at this, he does it again, and there's Doug Dubach. You remember in that earlier heat race, both Johnny O'Mara and Jeff Ward took advantage of the mistakes, and this time it was the doctor, number 7, Doug Dubach, who earlier had found himself on the ground taking advantage of Ron Tishner's misfortune. Dubach goes into the lead. Tishner now is back of the pack. We'll see how he comes out. Now, there's a good look, Dave, at some of the ruts in this racetrack. For the second week in a row, we were plagued with rain, and trying to put the track in left us with a soft base. They dumped a lot of dry dirt on top, but the moisture creeping up from underneath created a rut situation. Meanwhile, the battle over the number 2 position was hotly contested. Carlo Cohen, number 67. There's Kurt McMillan, number 28. And tucked in there just ahead of them, number 53, is Jason Upshaw. Behind him, here comes Ron Tishner, rider number 6. It's not been a good night for Tishner up until this point. Now Tishner is getting it all together. He makes the pass on McMillan, sets his sight on Upshaw, and Carlo Cohen, who'd taken over the number 2 position. Again, only the top 2 riders will make it into the main. Dave, it's interesting to note that Ron Tishner, who on the track all by himself is not able to keep the motorcycle upright, but he gets mixing it up with several riders here, and Tishner looks like the old Ron Tishner. Now, he's just flat getting the job done.
Well, he's charging very well here, but keep in mind, Larry, the guys he's running with don't have the experience of the men he's going to race when he gets into the main event, assuming he does. He pulls away here. He's a clean second. Upshaw goes with him. Cohen and McMillan are left to battle it out. But watch what happens. Whack, handlebar tangle, and they're both in the dirt. Cohen all the way on the other side of the bales. McMillan picking his thing back up, looks over and says, I'm sorry.
Well, Tishner running up in the number 2 spot. If he had a rear-view mirror, he could have looked in it and said, probably would have said, I should say, geez, I wonder why I wasn't involved in that one, too. I've been down on the ground more often than up tonight. So Doug Dubach, rider number 7, Costa Mesa, California, takes it home in the number 1 spot. And here comes Ron Tishner all by himself. He's still racing with back markers, although he doesn't need to. He has second place sewn up. He takes the checkered flag, and he'll finish second and make it into the main event. Jason Upshaw, Smith, and May all have to go through that last chance qualifier if they want to make it to the elusive and exclusive top 20.
Exclusive indeed, Larry. 2 guys want the spot here in the last chance. Only one's going to get it. This is a great race, a great finish between number 98, Gene Newmack, and number 53, Upshaw, whom we just saw. 1 spot left in the main event. 2 guys going for it. Who are you going to pick?
Well, Dave, I've already seen this last chance qualifier, so I'm going to pick Newmack aboard the green Kawasaki. Let's see if my prediction comes true. Yep, there he is. He takes the checkered flag, and Jason Upshaw finishes second.
And second in this case is not good enough, Larry. Upshaw, Musselman, Palladino, and Smith are done for the night. Newmack is going to the feature.
And with that, qualifying is over. Now, we're looking forward to the main events out here in the Meadowlands, and just as some amateur riders are looking forward to a big main event a little bit later in the season.
It'll be at the last race, Larry, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the finale of an amateur Supercross season that has seen riders qualify at every event along the trail. Let's take a look at what happened here in New Jersey.
Well, Dave, you mentioned the Amateur National Championship to take place in Oklahoma a little bit later in the season. Indeed, the top 10 in every class here in New Jersey, just as the top 10 in every class in previous amateur events throughout the series, will qualify to go to Oklahoma. We're looking for the very, very best amateur supercrossers in the United States. They're, of course, the future of the sport. We'll see them with a pro license in a few years, and we'll be back to watch the pros right after this. Welcome back to Camel Supercross. This is the 125cc main event. Rider number 27 is Denny Stevenson from Omaha, Nebraska. On his right, his father and mechanic. The pair of them have done an excellent job this year. They have won 6 out of 8 races leading into this, the Meadowlands round. Stevenson on top of the series, followed by Mike Jones, Jeremy Buell, Barry Karsten, and rounding out the top 5 in the standings is Doug Henry. The 32nd board is up. It's going to go sideways. When it does, the riders will put the bikes into gear. You'll see them start flipping the throttles, and I would say it's sideways right now, and we're just about set for the gate to drop. It does, and the main event is underway.
Larry, we've seen Denny Stevenson win him every way there is to win him this year, running up front, coming from the back, crashing and getting back up. Let's see what he can do tonight. Barry Karsten on the ground on the start, 4th-ranked rider in the series, in trouble right off the bat. And here is Stevenson with a hole shot. That's bad news for everybody else.
You know, I've said many times when he hits the winner's circle, I've said to him, Denny, I hate it when you do that because generally it's a boring race. Stevenson has been so dominant in this class. He just, you know, he gets out in front and he shows no mercy. He has that killer instinct. The guy is a great young rider.
There's no doubt about his capability, Larry. The question now is whether his challengers can keep up. There's a move by number 51, Mike Jones. As they went flashing by, he's trying to get into 2nd spot. He's been the arch rival of Stevenson during this series. He did not get around number 74, Billy Whitley, and so the battle for 2nd spot becomes the battle for the right to try to challenge the king of the class.
Well, Mike Jones out of Export, Pennsylvania, has tried his hardest, Dave, as we're well aware, to win one of these things all season long. He's come up short on several occasions. He has led for the biggest part of a race, only to be overhauled by Denny Stevenson. You know, that's got to kind of eat away at you. But then again, Stevenson is one of the finest young riders in the world, so maybe you can put it all in perspective if you're Mike Jones and say, well, I guess I'm going to take what I can get, and my wins will come one day. So far, they've not been coming in this series. He's now trying to get by Billy Whitley, who's holding down the number 2 position in this round 9 of the 125cc Eastern Supercross Championships.
Whitley is the unknown factor in this. He's not had as much experience at the front of the pack as have Jones and Stevenson, who have been there all year. Whitley's really emerged in just the last couple of events as a contender, but once he realized he could ride with these guys, it seems to have given him a tremendous boost of confidence, because last week he was right up front. Here he is again. Now he's under a lot of pressure from Jones, and the question is whether he has the maturity to hold him at bay and perhaps go up and challenge Stevenson.
Well, just one lap ago, we saw Whitley, while they were up in the air, look over at Mike Jones, and if we had flashed back to the opening lap, in that same position, you'd see Whitley looking over at Denny Stevenson like, do I really belong here? I think that's the question he's asking himself. And Mike Jones is doing everything he can to get around Whitley, but I'd have to say at this point that Whitley does belong there. Jones certainly can't make the pass.
Whitley's working the inside of the racetrack. Jones coming around the outside. Ooh, that's the fast way to go, like a freight train. Jones runs the rail, takes the spot, and Whitley falls to 3rd.
Well, the 125 class is divided into regions, east and west. The objective here is to expose more of the younger riders to racing, or I shouldn't say more, I should say as many as possible to racing in Supercross activities, to expose them to the competition, expose them to the rough tracks, the man-made tracks, expose them to the huge crowd and all of the noise and the tight racing, the difficulty of passing, by grouping them with other youngsters of roughly the same ability, and certainly the motorcycles are much more competitive with each other. It gives them an opportunity to learn the tricks of the trade, so to speak. And a couple of them are learning it very, very well. Certainly one of those, Denny Stevenson, out in front. Now, in past years, we have seen the 125 riders move to the front of the 250 class. All we have to do is look back 1 year ago, for example. Jeff Matasevich, our current series points leader, was the Western 125 champ, and Damon Bradshaw was the champion of the East, and Bradshaw has certainly made his presence felt on the circuit this year. Meanwhile, that's Talon Boland, number 8, who has moved into the number 4 position.
Coming hard, too. He wants a piece of the action. These Midwest kids are really strong. Stevenson out of Omaha, Boland out of Missouri, and they're trying to do something here with the Texan, number 74, Billy Whitley. Boland may be the fastest man out there right now.
Boland has come on strong in recent races. He started the season a little on the slow side, but he's kind of picked the wheels up underneath him and has really put them down recently, and Boland could be a factor in this one before it's over.
3-man race for second is the best you could hope for here. Stevenson's gone. Boland sideways, almost crashed it. That was scary.
If you're Talon Boland, it was certainly scary. From our seat, it was a little on a spectacular side. There's Jones running in the number 2 position. In 3rd, number 74. That's Billy Whitley. And running in a number 4 position, rider number 80. Whoa! Talon Boland. And he almost was running down on the ground along with Billy Whitley. But no harm was done, and both riders emerging unscathed. And we'll be back right after this with more Supercross action. Welcome back. I'm Larry Myers. With me, Dave Despain. We're at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, Giant Stadium. This is the 125cc main event, part of the Camel Supercross Series. Way out in front, we can't see him right now, he's so far in front, is Denny Stevenson. Behind him, we just had a glimpse of him, number 51, That's Mike Jones. Running in the number 3 position now is Talon Bolin aboard the Kawasaki. Rider number 80. Behind him as Bolin gets it sideways, almost goes down. Number 74, Billy Whitley. Now we can just get a glimpse of Jeremy Buell coming up behind that pack. It's been pretty much a battle for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places as Denny Stevenson, the 125cc series leader, has ran off and left the rest of the field.
Whitley is not able to maintain Boland's pace, and that's an opening for Jeremy Buell. Buell needs to get around Whitley. Those are the 3 riders you see coming into your frame right here. Whitley at the left-hand side. There's just a glimpse of Buell. He needs to pick up that spot because he's in a points race. Stevenson is just out for a cruise here, but the one problem he's had this year is that he periodically loses concentration, crashes. Here comes the move by Jeremy Buell up the inside. He's around Whitley in traffic.
You know, we would like to think that there's parity in the 125cc class, but we certainly have not seen it this year as Denny Stevenson has been head and shoulders above the rest of the competitors. Now, if Stevenson were to turn around, he'd see Jones, and if Jones turns around, he would see one heck of a race because these guys are really battling back there at the number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 spots. There's Bolin, who's in 3rd. Behind him comes number 58 aboard the Suzuki. There he is, Jeremy Buell. Bolin can't make a mistake because he knows Buell is breathing down his neck. Behind Buell comes Billy Whitley, number 74. And behind him, well, a whole host of riders that are looking to move into that top 10 and to make a name for themselves in this 125 class.
Buell's the charger here. He's around Whitley, left him behind. He's going after Bolin. He got a bad start, and now he's just trying to make up all the ground he can. Again, the significance here is the point. Stevenson is going to be the champion of the class. I don't think there's any doubt of that. Everybody else, here's Stevenson right here. Everybody else is racing for bragging rights and point positions that they can turn into some kind of factory contract for next year.
Well, we talked earlier about the impact that Stevenson might make in that 250 class. He's very confident he's going to be just like Bradshaw, just like Matasevich. They were both 125 champions and moved into the 250 class and clearly made a huge impact on the class. Here's what Denny Stevenson had to say about his chances.
Yeah, I think I can. This is my last year in the 125, and I rode with all them guys. I feel I have a lot of experience, and I feel I'll probably be one of the singular guys to come out of the 125 class into the 250 next year. And as long as I work hard and train hard all season, I think I can make an impact as they have.
Well, he certainly made an impact here at the Meadowlands. Number 27, Denny Stevenson, looking forward to turning into a top-notch pro in that 250 class just 1 year from now. Right now, though, he's thrilling the crowds here in the Meadowlands, doing an excellent job. He took the lead early on, has not been headed, and I don't think he's going to be, Dave.
The only problem I can see for Denny Stevenson, Larry, is that he's not getting a whole lot of experience racing with people in the 125 class. He's been running out there by himself virtually all season. It's a measure of how fast he is, but by the same token, when he moves up to the 250 class next year, I guarantee you he'll have some people to race with.
Yeah, he certainly will. And I have to think that while he's having it easy now, he's aware of that fact that it's going to be a lot tougher in just a few more months. We'll be back with more racing after this. Welcome back. While we were away, Mike Jones, rider number 51, running in the number 2 position, ran into trouble. There right behind him is Talon Bolin, number 80, and Bolin is in 3rd place. Now, Denny Stevenson, number 27, is way out in front. He's not part of this action. Behind him, well, that's where the pressure is. And Dave, he's going to lose that number 2 position. He's lost it.
Bolin gets around. Jones undoubtedly slowed by that banner tangled up in his rear wheel. There goes Jeremy Buell by as well. So Jones, the early runner-up, will now run 4th and may struggle to hang on to that.
Well, whatever happened, Dave, the end result is about 1.5 miles of banners tied up in Mike Jones' rear wheel. There we caught just a shot of him, and it could have one of 2 effects. One, the pennant roping could just tie up the motor. It won't let it turn over as quickly. It's such a drag on the rear wheel. And secondly, it could interfere with the brakes, so that would have the same effect. With no brakes, you simply can't go as fast as you can with them. In any event, Jones back to the number 3 position. Now we've got a battle for the number 2 spot. Look at this. Talon Bolin getting all he wants from Jeremy Buell. Buell has come from out of the pack to make a race out of this one. And who would have thought that as we wind this one down, that we were going to end up with some excitement. Denny Stevenson all alone out in front. The action is behind him.
I've been impressed with Buell from the start here. He's charged hard. Stevenson's got it all his way, but Boland has definitely got his hands full. Now Buell gets balked by a back marker. But his character trait here from the start of this race has been to charge, to get himself up into contention, to pick off the guy ahead of him, worry about him one at a time, get to the next man, and it's got him all the way to third. He's got Bolin in his sight, and he's got a clear racetrack now. I think he might be able to catch him.
Well, Dave, it's called adrenaline and go with the flow. Bolin has been running at one pace for the past several laps. Buell has been charging. He's at a faster pace. It's easier for Buell at this point to maintain his pace than it is for Bolin to pick it up.
I think the key here, Larry, may be traffic. A lot of back markers surround this battle as Bolin, number 80, looks to the outside of Ty Wallace. Buell looks to the inside. Little bump and bang. Let's see if he's got the stuff there side by side. Give it to him. Nice move by Buell.
Excellent move. He saw it coming. He read it all away. White flag time. 1 lap to go. Jeremy Buell has moved to the number 2 position. Here's a look at Denny Stevenson. He's your leader. He's been there. He's been gone since the outset of this one, and he gives a big wave to the crowd. I think he's saying thank you because they've been very, very supportive of this young man throughout the entire evening of racing. Denny Stevenson, number 27, has just put forth a spectacular effort in round number 9 of the 125cc Eastern Division. Now, this is going to be win number 7 for this young man from Omaha, Nebraska, and that is a most impressive record. Checkered flag coming up. Stevenson takes it with left hand in the air. This guy has got to be happy, and here comes another happy young man, Jeremy Buell, number 58. He'll be followed across the line. If he can hold that position, it's going to be tight. Whoa! Buell just barely nips less than a bike length Talon Bolin. It was tough.
And so it's win number 7 and 9 starts for Denny Stevenson. Buell the runner-up, Talon Bolin third, Mike Jones a disappointed 4th after the off-track excursion. Jason Langford comes home 5th. In points, it's all Stevenson over Jones. But there's Buell moving up to challenge Jones as a result of that fine run here this evening. That wraps up the 125 action. Stay with us as Denny Stevenson celebrates. We'll be right back with the 250cc main event.
Welcome back. It's round 14 of the 18-event Camel Supercross Series. This one in the Meadowlands, New Jersey, Giant Stadium. That's Jeff Matasevich. He's the series points leader. A Kawasaki rider. Now, his mechanic off to the right. They're both concerned. They're both thinking about what lies ahead. That, of course, is maintaining a very slim points margin over this man, the defending national champion, Jeff Stanton. Now, the 1990 Supercross season has been one of attrition. Now, both Stanton and Matasevich have been healthy throughout the season, but they have lived off the misfortunes of others, namely Jean-Michel Bayle. As we look at the standings, Bayle is in 4th place with 206 points, about 32 down from Matasevich. He has 4 wins in the series, and I would also give a call as the 32nd board is up. This one is about to get underway to Damon Bradshaw, who also has 4 wins in the series. But he's been out, as Bayle has, of several events, not able to score points, and that's hurt them in the standings heading into round 14. David, this one about to get underway. Big night for the points battlers, if you will, Matasevich and Stanton. Also for Bayle, who's been on a roll of late. Who's got the start? Bradshaw looking pretty good on the inside. Matasevich in that second wave. We are underway here in the Meadowlands. What has been happening in the series is Bradshaw up, and Ron Chishner. He has had trouble all night. He had more of it on the start. Chishner, number 6 from Palm Harbor, Florida, falling in his heat race, falling in the semi before he came back to take that final transfer position, has done it again in the main. He's not going to recover from this one.
Bradshaw, Matasevich, Ward out front. Jeff Stanton has what is now his traditional 6th place start with a little catching up to do. Bradshaw will be tough to catch, I guarantee you. Matasevich ought to try to run Bradshaw's pace. He got into the series point lead by racing Bradshaw. He's got another opportunity to do it here tonight.
He claims that the pressure is not bothering him. He claims that he's riding each individual race as they come along, and that he's running now just as hard as he did in the early part of the season. But I think he would like to believe that, Dave. I think that in reality, he's protecting the points lead. Now, we'll see what happens. He's in that number 3 position. He has Stanton behind him. In order for him to increase his points lead, he's got to keep it that way, and hopefully he'll improve his own position. Right now, though, it's all Bradshaw. 4 wins so far this season. The Charlotte, North Carolina Yamaha rider doing it his own way out front, followed by Jeff Ward, the wily veteran, 2-time Supercross champ. This guy knows what it's about. He's another one of the riders that, when we talk about misfortune, that we can put right up there with the best of them. He's won his share of races this year, had some good, strong finishes, and I think he's ridden as fast as anyone all year long, but he's had his problems. Right now, problems being caused by Jean-Michel Bayle, number 22. He's catching Matasevich.
Bale is really on a roll, Larry. He's been so strong in the recent events. After he missed a couple due to injury again, he can throw caution to the wind. He can go out and just try to win races. He is accustomed to winning races. He's not used to getting beat. And so as he goes after Matiasevich, all he's thinking about is get to the front. He's a two-time world champion. He is tremendously experienced. He's got great skill. And I think Jean-Michel likes racing in America, and that's also a great incentive. He's working on Matiasevich.
Skillful indeed, and let me tell you just how fast this guy is. Now, throughout the series, Dave, we have seen block passes, and we have seen a lot of contact as one rider or another makes an effort to get past the guy in front of him. You have not seen any of that from Jean-Michel Bale. The passes that he has made throughout the year, throughout the season, have been clean. He finds a new line. He goes to the outside. He goes to the inside. He finds places on the track where there is no one else. He goes just a little bit faster, and this guy is one heck of a rider. Here he goes, working still on Matiasevich. Look, he's trying to get the wheel on the inside. Matiasevich went just a little bit wide, and Bale instantly reacted. He almost got the job done there.
He's a surgeon, not a slugger. Let's see if this line will work. He goes outside. There's nothing there that time. But you're right, Larry. He doesn't really want to get in there and bash elbows. Perhaps in part because Matiasevich is the point leader. It's unseemly to knock the guy off if you're not considered an immediate threat for the championship. Let him race Jeff Stanton for the title. But I'm not convinced that Bale's given up on his own chances to win. If he can beat Matiasevich, it's a psychological victory. If he can get all the way to front tonight, he's done a miracle.
Oh, we've got a race. The good guys are all up front. Damon Bradshaw holding down the #1 spot. There's Jeff Ward, Matiasevich, Jean-Michel Bale. Here comes the defending champion. You're right. There's the pass.
And what a pass. As Bradshaw leads, we now have Jean-Michel Bale second. He passed both Matiasevich and Ward. Now Ward has come back around Matiasevich. Ward is third, Matiasevich fourth. Quite a lot of position shuffling there. We need to go back and take another look at the pass for second place. Here you see the second, third, and fourth place motorcycles with Bale running fourth, working on Matiasevich. Suddenly, Ward slows inexplicably, and Bale says, I can get them both. Nice through the opening, makes the double pass without touching anybody. Nice piece of work.
That was an amazing piece of work. How he threaded the needle, Dave, is beyond me. I can't believe he never had to force Matiasevich one way or the other. Got in front of Ward. That's one for the replay books over and over again.
I'm surprised at Ward, too. I'm not sure why he slowed down so much there. He seemed to come right back, but now he is in position to challenge Bale once again. He's got himself back up to speed, and he's on Bale's rear wheel, racing now for second place.
And that race for second place, Dave, is putting them closer and closer to Bradshaw. Can they catch him? We'll find out after this. Welcome back. I'm Larry Myers for ESPN. With me, Dave Despain. It's round 14 of the Camel Supercross Series. That's Damon Bradshaw aboard the white Yamaha #8. Chasing him, number 22, the flying Frenchman, 2 times the world champion, Jean-Michel Bale. Now, behind Bale, you'll see him pop up. There he is, 2-time Supercross champ, Jeff Ward. Then comes the battle for the points race. Jeff Matiasevich is in the #4 spot. Jeff Stanton is in 5th. However, in the series standings, Matiasevich is on top with Stanton second. Whoever comes out on top of the other in this one is going to pick up or gain some points, Dave.
And meanwhile, Bale continues to think about working the miracle here and pulling off the championship from far, far behind. If he can run 3 or 4 positions in front of Matiasevich and Stanton through the end of the year, he can still win this thing. Right now, all he's thinking about is getting around Damon Bradshaw. That'll be tough.
Tough indeed, but he's had it tough the entire race coming from out of the pack. He's had to pass some of the top riders in the country, and he's done that. He's done it with style. He's done it with grace, and frankly, he's done it with ease as he gets a little bit sideways and brings it back. And I think he's got the momentum on his side. If he doesn't make the pass on Bradshaw, we're going to see one heck of a battle before this one's over. So it's Bradshaw out front. There he is, rider #8. He's on that white Yamaha. Right behind him, number 22, Jean-Michel Bale. He's in the #2 position. Behind Bale, #3 is Jeff Ward. There's Ward coming up the center of the screen. Then behind Ward in 4th, number 20 is Jeff Matiasevich. Don't forget, Matiasevich is currently on top of the points leaderboard. And right behind him, the rider that is only 7 or 8 points down in the hunt for the championship, comes Jeff Stanton. So we've got a couple of battles. One out front. We're looking for a battle for the lead, and we've got the championship battle going on behind him.
Tell you what, this battle for the lead could make that championship battle more interesting, because if Bale wins this one, he's going to become increasingly a realistic threat to at least challenge Matasevich and Stanton. And they continue to be 4th and 5th place players here. Stanton not able to get around Matasevich. Matasevich coming off his worst race all year. He was dead last week at Charlotte, and we got just a glimpse of Matasevich over there bouncing off the hay bales in this one. So this continues.
Oh, there's Jean-Michel Bale has moved to the number 1 spot. Bradshaw almost, now that's unbelievable. Bradshaw had the opportunity there to squirt right back in front of Bale, but he let Bale go, and that's not Bradshaw.
Meanwhile, look at Stanton start to put the pressure on Matasevich here. He may have him under the tunnel, whips to the inside. Nope, track turns the other way. He'll no longer have the good line, but this is heat. Stanton knows this is the man he's got to beat if he's going to keep that number 1 on his back in 1991, and he's after him in the worst way. Long side, long way around. Again, Matasevich should have the better line when they reach the left-hander at the end of this straightaway, but Stanton is putting the pressure on.
I got to wonder, Dave, neither rider has shown this much aggression all day long. Now, all of a sudden, they're side by side. They see each other, and they've caught fire. They've picked up their pace. They're moving through new lines. They're trying to make the passes. Before, they were just out there riding. They were putting in their time like, hey, I don't want this win. I don't want the points. I'm going to give them to someone else. But now, look at this. They're really going at it.
Well, they got to hurry, or Mike LaRocco's going to run over him. Number 10, LaRocco sees them mixing it up. Figures, hey, this is my chance. I'll sneak up and zap them both. LaRocco's been a charger all year, usually stuck with a bad start. Tonight he got out reasonably well, mid-pack anyway, and so he's up there racing with a couple of pretty fast cats, the point leader and the series champion.
Oh, once again, LaRocco had the adrenaline flowing. He's come from out of the pack, and his pace is faster than theirs. It's going to be easier for him to maintain the pace, to make the pass, than it is for them to pick up his pace and hold him off. Meanwhile, out front, we just caught a glimpse of Jean-Michel Bale. He's making hay while the sun shines. Look at the action back here. Here goes LaRocco around the outside. He's past Stanton. No, they're side by side over the finish line jump. Stanton's got the inside line, and Stanton holds on to 5th. Right in front of him, Matasevich in 4th. He's protected his line for dear life. We've got a battle in this one.
These guys got to feel like they're tiptoeing through a minefield. I'm talking about Matasevich and Stanton, because in the midst of them, here is Mike LaRocco. Nothing to lose, never won a Supercross race. Great opportunity to race here with the series point leader and the series champion. They both got to protect their points. He just wants to win a race. I think Matasevich and Stanton should be terrified of Mike LaRocco right now.
Give a call to Larry Ward, number 17. We got just a quick glimpse of him. He's putting a charge on and moving up through the pack. Out front, we see the blue flag waving. Now, we want to point out that blue flag indicates to a rider that is being lapped that, hey, the fast guys are coming. When you see that blue flag, you're supposed to move over and let the good guys go. Get out of the way, in other words. I started to say out in front, it's Jean-Michel Bale. He's kind of running away with this thing. We got Damon Bradshaw in 2nd, Jeff Ward in 3rd. So this is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. In 4th, number 20, Jeff Matasevich. Right behind him, Jeff Stanton. That's the points championship battle. And then here comes Mike LaRocco. And as you said, nothing to lose, everything to gain. He's really sticking his wheels in there.
Cruise control for the Frenchman, Bale, number 22. Larry Ward, number 17, is actually just a position ahead of Bale in the standings. That'll change if Bale wins the race, but Jean-Michel is in fact 4th ranked, and Larry Ward, who won the Supercross in the Kingdom in Seattle, his hometown, is the 3rd ranked rider in the series. He'd like to get up here and mix it up with this bunch: Matasevich, Stanton, and LaRocco, who for the moment seems to be stalled. He can't find a way around Jeff Stanton. He'd like to get a shot at Matasevich, but for the moment he seems to be stuck.
I think more than anything, LaRocco would like to finish just as high as he possibly can. So he's going to pick his spot, Dave. He's going to pick and choose, hopefully pressure a mistake out of these guys. He showed them a front wheel a while back. They know he's there. They know that if they make one little bobble, one little error, he's going to have them for lunch. So he's just sitting there biding his time, and I have to say, if we go much further, then he'll try to force that error. Here he goes. He picked out his line. Now he's on the inside. Let's see if he can make it work. He did indeed make it work. He reversed the positions on Jeff Stanton that they had just a lap ago, and LaRocco has taken over the number 5 position. Now in his sight, Jeff Matasevich. Can he catch him?
Stanton can't afford to let that happen. He's already behind Matasevich, and now he drops further points to Matasevich. given the presence of LaRocco in a position between them. Stanton just can't let that happen. He's either got to pass him back or he's got to hope that LaRocco can get around Matiasevich, because Stanton is racing Matiasevich for the championship.
If you've just tuned in to ESPN in this Supercross race, there's your leader, Jean-Michel Bayle. He is way out in front. We're watching the battle back in the pack. There it is, Mike LaRocco, same place. He went to school just a couple of laps ago, learned that line, learned that corner, took advantage of it. Now LaRocco is back to fourth, and Stanton moves into the number 5 position. He passes Matiasevich.
Matiasevich got a little out of line when LaRocco went by, was trying to get back on his good line. Stanton saw the opening and got there before he could. Bayle is still your leader. This is good. We'll be right back.
Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands in New Jersey. This is round 14 of the Camel Supercross Series. I'm Larry Myers. With me, Dave Despain. We have had a barn burner. Jeff Stanton, the defending Supercross champ. Rider number 1 is in 5th place. Right behind him, Jeff Matiasevich, number 20, aboard that green Kawasaki. Now, Matiasevich is the series points leader. The race leader in this one is number 22, Jean-Michel Bayle. He took the lead just a few laps ago, and he has opened the gap between himself and the rest of the field. Bayle will move into the number 3 position in the series if he can keep it upright. And Dave, I don't think at this point that we can count Michel Bayle out of the series championship.
Not at all. He's going to pick up at least 9 points on the Matiasevich and Stanton battle if they continue to run the way they are right now. He's got the bit in his teeth. He's proven over the last couple of races he's the fastest man out there. Damon Bradshaw, the contender for that honor, but tonight Bayle beat him in the heat race. He's come back now to beat him in the final, and it appears to me that Jean-Michel Bayle is the man with real momentum as we head for the finale of this series. He's on the last lap.
And while we have time, Dave, let's give a call to SRO Pace, the promoters of round 14 of the Camel Supercross Series, and all of the folks that helped make this telecast possible from here in Giant Stadium. Without them, our job would have been a lot tougher.
There's the guy who did the job tonight. I tell you what, Jean-Michel Bayle. He impresses me because he's come the other way. He's come from Europe to the U.S. Typically, the motocross talent flow has gone the other way. The Europeans used to set the standard with their world championship. Now, perhaps the tide has turned. The big money, the big prestige, and the best riders are all in the U.S. Jean-Michel says, I'm going to go over there and take care of those guys. I'm going to race with those American Motorcyclists Association riders who are now the premier stars in the world. And our thanks, too, to the AMA for their help tonight.
Checkered flag time for Jean-Michel Bayle. A pump with the left arm to the crowd, and he's got to be one happy dude. Here comes, look at this. Damon Bradshaw in second. No! That's about as tight as finish as we're going to see anywhere. I don't believe this. Damon Bradshaw was asleep at the switch. Jeff Ward came from out of nowhere to overtake Bradshaw, and he's going to finish second. There it is. It's Bayle, Ward, Bradshaw nipped at the wire. Mike LaRocco fourth. Jeff Stanton finishing at a number 5 position. And in that number 5 spot, he'll pick up 1 point over Matiasevich, who finished 6th. Larry Ward 7th. Mike Kidrowski 8th. Mike Fisher 9th. And the former Supercross champ, Johnny O'Mara. He won that title in 1984, rounding out the top 10. And does Bayle look happy?
Yes, that's French champagne they're spraying all over the victory circle there, Larry. We'll take a look at the standings now. Matiasevich with just 7 points advantage over Jeff Stanton. Bayle has closed to within 22. It's a brand new race for the title.
So Jean-Michel Bayle, 2 times a world champion, back in the hunt for that Supercross crown. And you know what? He could do it.
Well, he could, Larry. It's a long shot, but I'll tell you, if the 2 championship rivals, Jeff Matiasevich and Jeff Stanton, continue to perform the way they performed here tonight, I wouldn't be surprised to see them take each other out of an event and open the door for the Frenchman.
It could very well happen, and I wouldn't be surprised either. Bayle is so consistent. He's been there, you know, with the pressure, and I think he's going to handle it very well from here on out. We'll find out, and so will you, if you stay tuned to ESPN in upcoming weeks as the Supercross Series is winding down. Next on the schedule, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Hope you'll join us next week right here on ESPN. For Dave Despain, I'm Larry Myers. So long until next week.